Marathons are hard, but you gotta keep trucking along, so I will.
Now if that doesn't make me a ninja turtle, I don't know what does.
Hello, my name is Aladino, and together with my wife Maya, we are rebuilding a Cape George Cutter 36. This week we're gonna crack open the paint cans, but there's some work on the exterior that needs to be done first. We're in the midst of a pretty extensive refit. We have opened up the decks, removed the old bulwarks, we've made new deck beams, the decks are closed again. The decks are now fiberglassed, and next the cabin top needs to be addressed as well. Our cabin top is built in a very traditional way. That is that first the cabin sides are laid up and then beams are put into place, and over those beams then you lay some plywood. To waterproof it all, it will get fiberglassed just like it was, but there is one big difference. Previously polyester resin was used, and we are going to use epoxy resin because it is way superior. We also did a few extra steps in waterproofing our cabin top, and that is that we rounded the corners on the end grain and we glassed over those perimeters. We fiberglassed the frames of the portholes, and we also over drilled holes where the hardware will be through bolted and filled those with epoxy. Soon we can fiberglass the entire cabin top. But there has been one problem, and that is the cold weather, which is hampering the progress. It looks like there is hope in the upcoming weather forecast. This gets me happy about possibly being able to fiberglass the cabin top and the cabin sides. There is still yet one more thing that I had left off, and that is the turtle hatch. It has teak trim from the interior, so it hides the screws that go into the sides here, and those are capped off with a teak bung. Now that is, it's not big trouble, but as I alluded to last week, when you've got such a big list, then the last thing you want to do is destroy some things that look aesthetically pleasing. But now that everything else is prepared and looking forward to the fiberglassing job, how that will actually go, it will be much easier if I don't have to work around the turtle hatch. Otherwise I would have to go to the perimeter here, how to really connect things here. But instead taking it off, having the fiberglass run smoothly underneath it, and then we can just bed this entire turtle hatch frame on top of it again. Now, before I remove too many bungs, I better make sure that the screws come out. I don't know, maybe they're epoxied in. Let's get the impact driver and try to get a few screws out before I continue. Oh, is this the right tip? R2, I need R3. Alright, screws are coming out. Yeah, but so far so good. The piece of Trek came down too, and it's labeled. I guess it wasn't glued in place. So yes, this one is number 2, so I guess I don't even have to relabel them. That's great. But I'm gonna put a number 1 here. Whee! They're off! Oh, I'm not ready to sand the anti-fouling though. Why should you be, you might ask? Well, doing overhead tasks. I'm not quite ready for that yet. I haven't gone to the gym. Yeah, different kind of gym. But yeah, it's tough to work overhead. I sure remember now why I didn't want to do this. Wow, this red caulking here is really tough stuff. Alright, I got port side off. I'm just being very careful. One problem is that the oscillating multi-tool melts the sealant, and so as you continue, then it melts together again. Alright, now we got it. Ready to find $1 million underneath it. Oh, this is so heavy. Oh, I'm glad I persevered.
Now, if that doesn't make me a ninja turtle, I don't know what does. Alright, enough goofing around.
Oh, holy moly, this is really heavy. But yeah, check out this. How much is that? 1 3/4 inch massive teak all around. The sides, the top is maybe a little less. Yeah, the top is 1 inch, but still. Alright, I'm glad it's off. The turtle hatch is one monstrously beefy construction. I was really impressed with the amount of teak, just the weight of it. It made me think of my old boss. He was a true racer in spirit. Well, not only in spirit, but yeah, he would have said that that thing would sink the boat. Anything heavy would make any boat sink, in his opinion. Yeah. Alright, it is the next day. Snack turned into a beer, and a beer turned into dinner, and then I didn't come back out again. But today is the day that I will tackle the perimeter here. I'm leaving the center here as it is. I'm leaving the tracks in place, but I want to have the glass extend all the way to this teak rail here, and after putting the turtle hatch cover on again, that will be covered and hidden. So that's the goal. Our plan is to take this boat to some exotic and remote places, and we are doing more work now, but that is to minimize big tasks later.
So in last week's episode, Aladino did a huge priming session and applied primer to almost all of the interior that we have left to prime, which means that we now have a huge amount of sanding to be done before we can apply paint. So that's my job this week. I also sanded the turtle hatch. We're not sure yet if it's going to be varnished or if we'll just leave the teak bare, but that's a decision for the future. We just sanded it for now. I have to say, thank goodness for podcasts. We got these headphones that have Bluetooth in them, not sponsored at all, but boy oh boy has that saved my sanity somewhat. So thank you, podcasts. Thank you to all podcasters in the world. You have done me a great service.
Since we got this boat, I had the vision to actually get 2 cowl vents and the rod boxes eventually, because the boat came with 1, so we believed. But there was actually a second rod box, but it was used differently. It was screwed upside down to the interior of the boat. It was screwed to the cabin sides. And I thought it's just a teak box to like hold binoculars. But after inspecting it closer, it was a perfectly made Dorade box. So we are gonna repurpose it and put it onto the cabin top. We still need to get another cowl vent, but there is one cellar that still has these old ABY cowls. So we're gonna make it symmetric, and that's pretty exciting. Alright, things are happening and it's time for another update. There's been a few things off camera. Now I've completed the second round of fairing, so the cabin sides are ready to go. Only a little more prep work. Mads from Sail Life, he has some fun catchphrases and he actually put some of those onto his t-shirts. Like, oh, glorious sanding. I think if I would do the same, mine would be just a little more prep work. What does that consist in? I don't know, you know what I mean. The portholes, those need hand sanding. I need to round over the corners and do the inside and do the outside. So that's still to go. But another thing that happened off camera, Maya helped me take off the peel ply around the cabin top, so that is inching closer, and it reveals the fiberglass underneath. There is no voids. It worked out perfectly. There was a little mishap along the road if you've watched that episode, but we managed to do it and I'm super happy. The thing though, it is quite coarse fiberglass, so before we put another layer over top, I'm gonna do a quick round of fairing around the perimeter too, and then sand it again so that that is ready to go. The cabin top is also getting there. The holes for the cowls are prepared and fiberglassed over. Now I guess the last thing here is I have a few more holes to prepare. This is where the old winch pad was, so I'm gonna drill them out with a bigger hole saw, fill it out with epoxy. It's just the preparation I always do for all the hardware that is going back. And then of course, from removing the turtle hatch cover, we have exposed some new screws. It might be through bolts in the future, but those are things to figure out later. For now, I just do the prep work to seal up our cabin top. Our goals in the immediate future is to glass over the cabin top and to also add some more paint in the interior, especially on the cabin sides and in the salon. So I have worked a good amount on preparing the cabin top now, and meanwhile I come back to the interior. And the goal was to paint the cabin sides as well as the salon and the galley and the quarter berth and everywhere, basically. But as I was sanding it, I found a few spots that I really want to work on a little more. So I applied a little more fairing, especially here on the area where we had made a repair. So I'm still gonna go ahead. The salon is prepped, both sides. We got some more places in the quarter berth and in the galley to apply paint. Of course, along with the shelves, the backrests, and those parts that are on the table. The usual Epiphanes 2-component polyurethane paint, and the color we chose is 9010. And for visible interior places like the bulkheads and like on top of the shelf here, I'm gonna apply satin finish. But the shelves, the backrest, behind the backrest, that's where I put the glossy in.
Hanging around after last orders, we're still so far from home. It's like we're burning into embers, as the fire burns a cold world. As the days keep rolling on, we're living in hell again. But I still hold you in my heart when these days have been and gone. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. As time goes by, won't we keep heading round the circles, never letting go, never letting go. As time goes by, won't we keep heading round the circles, never letting go, never letting go.
Painting the interior is a big moment. It will do us a lot of good. It is pretty challenging and difficult to work for so long without visual reward. And that's what the paint is giving us, though hopefully very soon.
Oh, we're going home. We're all fired up. We're tangled up. We're enmeshed to the point of messed up. As the days keep rolling on, we're living in hell again. I still hold you in my arms when these days have been and gone. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
It is looking really good. I love this paint. More the question is how much dust settles into it. Yeah, I was expecting more dust given the environment. But yeah, there really is only so much surface we have, and I had to paint inside the boat too. So yeah, I'm really positively surprised.
Round in circles, never letting go, never letting go.
Marathons are hard, but you gotta keep trucking along, so I will. I'm maybe halfway there to having fresh paint on most of our boat. I'm gonna mix up some paint right now, so this is the most satisfying step. And tomorrow, hopefully, there will be the second coat. So yeah, everything is ready to go. The entire cabin sides have been sanded and prepared and taped. Here in the front too. The other side in the head. Salon. And the galley. And there. And over the chart table. And it is a painting marathon, not only because of that, not only the sides that I just showed you guys, but also still in the salon. It is the first coat, so that's gonna get a second coat. I always like to work within the intervals of a certain brand and not to have to do the prep work again. So today and tomorrow, this can accept the other paint layer chemically still to have a good adhesion, so that's what I'm going for. And then the same thing on this side, of course, and some places in the galley and the chart table. So lots of paint.
So, Aladino painted yesterday. I haven't seen it yet. These are our kitchen drawers. I just coated them with epoxy yesterday. I didn't film it, but I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm just sanding and coating things with epoxy here and there. So basically I'm not filming what I'm doing very much, but let's go see Aladino. Nice. Well done, Aladino.
Thanks.
Looks great.
It's not too bad, yeah.
No, it looks really, really good. Well, a lot has happened in this episode.
Yeah.
So, the boat's coming together. We've been saying that for a long time, but I mean, every week it is, so I guess it's always true.
As they say, time flies when you're having fun. So yeah, this week went by pretty quickly, but we've made huge progress again. The cabin top is really coming along, and the interior, we've put on a lot of paint. And it might seem like everything was ready and you just gotta come in here with a brush and a roller once and it's a one-day thing, but it actually isn't. Yeah, it took me the whole week because first of all, I applied 2 to 3 coats. So you gotta do 1 coat and the next day another one. And also I was still preparing like the cabin sides when I was already painting, and then I was preparing the overhead. So yeah, it took an entire week, but if that's what it takes to get a new boat, that's not that bad. So, but yeah, it's looking really good.
I'm really proud of you, Aladino.
Thank you.
You've done amazing.
Well, you've done a big part as well. A lot of prep work, tedious prep work. So as always, thank you all for being here and following the progress with us. We couldn't do it without you guys. And especially our patrons. Huge thanks to our patrons, everybody who's joining our community there. It really blows our mind, all the help and support we get that really fuels us to continue trucking along. Big thanks to the names now appearing on screen for making sure that Magic Carpet can keep producing videos. And we will see you all next Friday.